Yes.
Hi there! We are back again. Yes, I know, very loud. But we are back with another episode of, yes, that's right, Unfinished Business with Jeff Gallashaw and
Andrew Joseph.
And we are continuing our talk of the Batman movies. Now we get into the Nolan films. And of course, the first one of these is Batman Begins. Now, I will make an admission. This is the only Batman Nolan film that I did not see in theaters because, honestly, after those last few movies, I had no desire to see it not live up to its prospects. I'll admit, I saw the trailer. It looked dark, but I was like, Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne Batman. And, you know, I stayed away from this film till it reached DVD. And then once I saw it on DVD, I liked it, but I didn't love it. I thought it was a hell of a lot better than, you know, I would say the non-Tim Burton Batman films. I liked that it went in more of a dark direction, but I can't say I was, like, totally won over by the film. It had Liam Neeson. You know, I mean, it's one of Liam Neeson's better screen performances. The whole mathematical thing of working out Katie Holmes is supposed to be older than Christian Bale's character, yet she looks younger than him. And, you know, it doesn't, to me, really get exciting until the Scarecrow. I love the cinematography. I like, you know, him studying under Ra's al Ghul. You know, I thought these were, like, interesting aspects. And when he first becomes Batman, seeing the mistakes. I even liked Gary Oldman, but, like I said, film's not a total winner for me. I really like it. I think it's a well-made film, but it's still better than the last film, you know.
It was a breath of fresh air to watch at the time. And I'll admit, it's not a perfect first reboot, but considering that now you you put some weight onto the side characters, and at the same time, you put it back on the focus on how Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. Not just about how his parents get killed, but what made him decide to put on this cape and put on that mask, and to see him go through the training and learning the black arts and becoming, you know, basically this savior of Gotham. And even by the end of the movie, you know, things are not perfect, but we're going to start to see some improvement and see this guy really kick some ass. And Christian Bale, yes, everybody has their issues with the voice, which I didn't think was as bad in the first one.
No, it wasn't.
But I think considering the previous actors who played this part before it, and we could have those debates later about, you know, who's the better Batman, I think for the origin going into how he becomes the role, he was excellent.
I will admit that after seeing Batman Begins, when The Dark Knight was announced, I got a little bit more interested because I was like, whoa, they're going to introduce the Joker. I'm like, who's it going to be? Robin Williams? No. Steve Carell? No. Eddie Murphy? And they're like, no. And it was like, Heath Ledger?
Yeah.
It's a strange choice, but oddly, I felt a little more comfortable in going to see the film. Because before then, I had been a Heath Ledger fan. 10 Things I Hate About You. You know, and so I was like, oh, this is going to be kick-ass, you know. I'd like to see his version. And of course, they played like a 5 or 10 minute preview in certain theaters to kind of get, you know, everybody hyped for the film. And after seeing that, I was like, okay, I am there. And I was not disappointed, as I, like most people, feel this is the best of the three films. I mean, action sequences are great. I mean, you know, if you really go into the logistics of it, they're a little weirdly put together and hard to follow if you really want to think about it, but just watching the spectacle, watching Heath Ledger give almost like a James Dean-ish performance, because everybody after this film wanted to be the Joker, wanted to act like the Joker, or worship the Joker character. The one thing I didn't believe that I felt was strictly part of a script was when Zeus, or Tony Tiny Lister, is, you know, when they're on the two boats and, you know, one has to explode, and Tony Tiny Lister decides, for all the prisoners, mind you, okay, we should explode to let them live. And I was just like, bullshit. They recast Katie Holmes' role with more of an age-appropriate actress.
Maggie Gyllenhaal was a better fit for it.
Yeah. I guess I swallowed the Kool-Aid like everybody else. It's still one of my favorite superheroes. It overtook the original 1989 Batman as my favorite superhero film of all time.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think after Dark Knight, it was hard to go back and to watch any of those films because they got it right on so many levels. And I could go on and on about Heath Ledger and how great he is, and he deserved the Oscar without question. But to me, it's a little bigger than the Joker and his performance. It's the whole complexity of that particular story and the idea that, you know, Bruce Wayne's trying to do better with Gotham City as Batman, but now people are sort of reacting against it. Things are getting worse. And he sees Harvey Dent as sort of like the guy who could do it the right way and do it with the legal system. But of course, things happen. And I gotta say that, you know, Aaron Eckhart doesn't get a lot of credit for playing Harvey Dent. I mean, I was so pissed off with the way he was treated in Batman Forever with Tommy Lee Jones that this was such a huge improvement from the character that I knew, who, you know, stood up for morality, but he was also a little bit, I won't say corrupted, but, you know, he was a little, has loose screws, and then really gets sent over the hill by the third act.
I gotta big up this film because it gave Eric Roberts and Anthony Michael Hall legitimacy again in the acting world.
Which I like about Nolan, bringing back all those old 80s stars.
Exactly. So I was just overjoyed seeing them in real substantial roles. Then we have to go on to
The Dark Knight Rises.
Unfortunately. Oh, this was a huge... Not to the level of Joel Schumacher. This is where I had a problem with storyline, performance, how we're gonna end this thing. I mean, there is some great stuff in there, but I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff. I mean, especially after that preview they showed with, you know, like the bridges and the classical music and the child singing and taking down a whole stadium. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be great. And then I saw it and I was like, it's like Return of the Jedi. I guess it completes everything, but there is some major shit in this film. Like, I hate to say it, I swallowed the Kool-Aid. I was with Bane. I was like, yeah, stand up for your convictions, man. Do this if you really believe in it. But then, spoiler, it's all fucking for a girl? A love story? So, something you didn't even believe in? That's some bull. So, I was just like, you know, it's bad enough I had to listen to your Sean Connery impression as you speak. I can understand why it's done. And I enjoy Tom Hardy's performance. But first of all, we don't get any action as Batman until 45 minutes into the film. And then when we do, it's very limited. Michael Caine gets a lot more to do in this film. And I respect Michael Caine as an actor, but I'm not his biggest fan. So you have him through this whole film talking about his emotions and all this stuff, and then he talks about this dream he has about seeing Bruce Wayne somewhere and eating at a cafe, and then we get that at the fucking end. So why did I need to see the fantasy if you're just gonna show it? And because Bruce Wayne's this millionaire known the world over, and nobody notices him at this cafe. I like the message that anybody can be a hero. Anybody can be Batman. You just have to have the right morals and convictions and do what you think is right. I like that. I even like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. What the fuck is Matthew Modine doing in this movie? And why should we care when we've been led not to like his character that, oh, he died a heroic death? I don't give a shit. I didn't like him. Marion Cotillard, who I love. She's Ra's al Ghul's daughter, and it's like an afterthought, like, oh yeah, by the way. You know, and when they finally fight, it's more like wrestling. They're like hugging each other. And I like how if I break your back, all I have to do is pop something right back in, and you're okay.
There are positives about it, and you know, I think we need to get into a little bit of that.
Okay, yeah, you do, because I'm like, what about? So I'll let you say what the positives are, because I don't have it.
I personally think it was a decent conclusion to Nolan's trilogy.
It was filmed well. That's my one conclusion.
Well, yes, of course. Wally Pfister's a great DP. He deserves to be a director now. So
he is. He has that Johnny Depp movie, Transference.
No, but I think that, you know, for the buildup that it had for, you know, at this point, the League of Shadows to resurface, to try to blow up Gotham, and to try to use this whole idea of the rich against the poor, I think was a pretty decent direction to go. And And, you know, performances-wise, I think it was still solid. I even think the score was incredible, especially when they kill the mercenaries and hang them on the bridge. I mean, you get really fucking pumped up when you're trying to see Batman get out of the pit. So I think there were some really good moments here.
I wanted to hang the person who wrote this film.
Okay, but that being said, though, yes, it's not perfect. There are a lot of flaws to it, and one of those, and I disagree with you, Jeff. I have grown not to like the Joseph Gordon-Levitt character. And
Robin? You don't like Robin?
No, I hate that twist.
Okay.
I do like him as an actor. I think he's fantastic. I just think that his character just seemed a little too much on... maybe a little too much on the nose. He just was...
I was an orphan.
I'm an orphan. I know who you are. Like, he acts like he's smarter than everybody else. And
that's Robin!
But he makes it so pretentious, and that's what I don't like. After a while, you get a little annoyed by it.
He's a dick superhero whose heart is in the right place. That's how I looked at it.
The Bane fight, especially the first fight, I was disappointed with. I wanted something that was a little bit more epic. The punches, the blows should have felt like something out of a Rocky movie. And instead, when he gets the back broken by Bane, it's not as epic as it is in the comic.
No, it's not iconic at all. It's just like, oh, did that. Sorry. I love the football scene when, you know, the whole field is going down from under them. I like that. The score, I cannot agree with you there. I did not like the score. I love the Dark Knight score. This was such a letdown. I only like that one song with the little boy singing. You know, that was the only song on the whole soundtrack that I found moving, and especially as all this destruction is happening as he's singing. I know I'm going to get hated for this. It's like Lord of the Rings. Whereas the third film, while good, after a while, you just wanted it to end because they've done everything that they were supposed to do. But it kept having another ending, kept having another ending, kept having another ending.
And I didn't find the Bruce Wayne-Selina Kyle relationship believable as in Batman Returns. Especially at the end when they do go to Italy together. It felt very forced at that point.
Well, you know, Anne Hathaway can't play poor well. But that is all I have to say. Do you have anything else to say about The Dark Knight Rises?
It's a great trilogy, and I will watch it continuously.
I think it's a great twofer. Third film, there's a lot for a stand-up act. That ends this episode. But before I go, I know you fucking seen Scott Pilgrim. I know you think it's fucking awesome. Nolan needs to watch it when he decides to do another trilogy because he needs to learn how to end. And that ends this week's episode. See you later, Spider fans. I know I'm using the wrong reference. Choo, 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 choo. Choo, 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 choo.